The Temple of Horyuji in Nara, the ancient capital of Japan, is home to the Shaka Triad, a fine example of a gilt bronze Buddha crafted in the 7th century by artisans from the Chinese continent. A group of present-day craftsmen have taken on the challenge of recreating this treasure. The city of Takaoka, near the Japan seacoast, has a 400-year history of bronze casting. A little over 20 kilometers south of Takaoka is the town of Inami, which is famous for its wood carvers. These highly skilled traditional craftsmen are now collaborating with a high-tech research team from the Tokyo University of the Arts to recreate the artistry of Buddhist craftsmen that flourished 1,400 years ago. This is Horyuji Temple in Nara Prefecture. Takaoka City and its neighbor, Nanto City, arranged for the craftsmen of Takaoka and Inami to take a look at the original Shaka Triad at Horyuji. Many of the craftsmen are seeing the triad for the first time. They take a close look at the statues to take in the details, including the size and shape. The coordinator of this project is Professor Junji Ito, an art producer who specializes in organizing modern reproductions of ancient art.
高岡にはその高度な技術を持つ職人さんたちが連携し合って一つのものを作ろうという意識が強く残っているところだと思うんですね。今回その高岡の職人さんたちが仏の心を刻む、そのためにものを加工していく、これほど具体的なものはなかったと思いますので、そういう意味で非常にはっきりした目的を持った時によみがえる感動というものをもう見るのが楽しみですよね。
Recreation of the Shaka Triad begins at the Tokyo University of the Arts. Here they produce a three-dimensional image using the latest digital technology. Based on this data, a 3D printer makes a model of the Shaka Triad to the same dimensions as the original. This silicone model is sent to Takaoka, where it will become the basis for making casting molds.
職人さんの目から見て、ここはこうだろう、ああだろうっていうアドバイスいただく。だからやっぱりそういうのの皆さんで作り上げていく、両方の現場の人とそれからそういうデータの世界とが融合していくということによって新しい次の世代のこういう造形っていうことに対する一つの大きなきっかけになるんじゃないかなという気がいたします。
At Takaoka, the work of casting the three statues and the small and big halos will be divided among 5 foundries. This foundry is casting Sakyamuni, the central Buddha, based on the 3D model. The method used here is to apply a thin coating of melted wax to the silicone rubber mold, layer by layer. This way, they can build up the wax. The thickness of the wax will be the thickness of the final bronze model. As soon as the wax solidifies, it will create an uneven level, so they must use the brush speedily to achieve a smooth finish.
我々やっててもこれだけ大変なことを昔の人はよくやられたなと思って本当に感心しますね。こういう国宝のようなものをやるのは初めてなのでかなり緊張はしますね。
The wax mold of Sakyamuni is completed. It is a faithful copy of the 3D model. Work has also begun on making a mold for the large halo. Unlike the previous wax method, gas will be used in the process of casting the halo. Molding sand is pressed onto the complex surfaces so as to capture the imprint of the shapes and fine lines. Nearly 100 imprints are needed to reproduce the entire halo. Once the pieces are completely dry, they are removed from the sand mold and attached to the frame of the halo like a jigsaw puzzle.
"先般法隆寺さんの現物も見させていただきましたけれど、ものすごく威圧感というか、もう迫力があるやっぱり品物なんで、それだけのやっぱ忠実な作業をしたいですから。
With all the pieces in place, the mold for the great halo is ready. The next step will be to pour liquid metal into the mold and cast the entire halo. The history of Takaoka metal casting goes back 400 years. The person responsible for setting up the industry here was Maeda Toshinaga, the second lord of the affluent Kaga domain. Toshinaga invited 7 foundry workers from the Kawachi area of Osaka and had them settle here. They were given housing and exempted from taxes and manual labor in return for vitalizing the local industries. Takaoka metal casting began here. The town still preserves the beautiful old-style housing. At first, they cast implements such as cooking pots and sides, but by the mid-18th century, they were making bronze items. They soon became expert at metal engraving and inlay work, and Takaoka's metalwork industry entered its golden age. The skills of these metal craftsmen have been handed down to the present day. These intricate designs are created by using a variety of chisels, large and small. The craftsmen use inlays of gold, silver, and other metal alloys to produce decorative articles, such as these. From the late 19th to early 20th century, bronze artworks from Takaoka were exhibited overseas to the amazement of people around the world. One example is this elaborate incense burner by Yazaemon Yokoyama, a late 19th century bronze caster. The great Buddha of Takaoka was cast in bronze 80 years ago to replace the previous wooden statue that was lost in a fire. It is an apt symbol of this important center of bronze casting. The wooden pedestal for the Shaka Triad will be made in Inami, a town just south of Takaoka. Master carver Hidekazu Fuji is responsible for putting together a base stand to support the pedestal. He is using Japanese cypress to make the stand to the exact measurements of the original. It must support the 3 statues and the Great Halo, a total of 500 kilograms. He makes fine adjustments with his plane to get it exactly right. Inami is famous for its wood carvers. 600 years ago, their ancestors built the nearby Zuisenji Temple. Their decorative carvings can be seen on the temple gate and in the main hall. They carved these intricate transoms in the temple buildings. Soon, these transoms gained wide popularity, and ordinary people wanted them made for their own houses. They also adorn the stalls at festivals. Even today, 180 or so skilled wood carvers carry on the tradition in Inami. One of them is Saburo Aoyama. He has been asked to carve the pedestal for the Shaka Triad. He is working on one of the curved lotus petals that surround the pedestal.
一番今回は気をつけてるのはこのカーブの部分ですかね。こういうだらーっといってキュッと上がってるみたいな、今回のこの返り花というのの一番大事なところじゃないでしょうかね。はい。
And now for the final casting of the Shaka Triad. The top and bottom sections are joined together. The cauldron contains melted copper alloy. You can feel the tension. The casting begins. The hot copper alloy is poured into the 4 holes. These holes allow the hot air to escape and prevent the metal from expanding with a sudden change in temperature. The casting takes place very quickly, but they won't know the result until it has cooled down completely. They crack the cooled mold and take out the halo. Small images of the Buddha and the lotus medallion in the center become visible.
全く問題ない鋳物の肌、物理も綺麗ですし、鋳肌、いわゆる砂の肌が想像以上に綺麗に上がってるんで、一安心しました。
The next casting is the Amitabha, the attendant on the left side. This mold is made of wax. Once that has melted, the mold is heated further. Then, melted copper alloy is poured into the mold. It has to be poured in quickly, in seconds. Once it's cooled down, they crack it open.
やはり煮込むまでね、かなり心配ですよ。今のところは 100% の出来上がりだと思います。
A lot of trial and error was involved in the different methods, but the casting is completed now. The Shaka Triad of Horyuji Temple, a collaboration of advanced technology and traditional skills practiced by bronze casters in Takaoka and woodcarvers in Inami, has recreated this Buddhist artwork, an artwork that was created 1400 years ago and is now miraculously reborn today.